Hello students, in today's lecture we are going to prove that the electric and magnetic vectors are perpendicular to each other and also that they are perpendicular to the wave propagation direction of propagation of wave vector k in free space. Now free space means no charges are present, charge density is 0. Electric field is traveling perpendicular to magnetic field and the wave is propagating in the x direction. So the electric and magnetic vectors are perpendicular to each other. Before we begin to prove this, we will be requiring certain basics of vector which I will explain you. See, curl of any quantity is given by the solution of this matrix which we solve as, first we take the first term first and into this minus this and this minus this, negative of this. I will explain it here to you. Electric field is equal to E naught e to the power of I k dot r minus I omega t, where k dot r is kxx plus kyy plus kzz and omega is angular frequency. Now we will take Maxwell's third equation, which is also Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, del cross E equal to minus del B by del T, where E is electric field intensity, B is magnetic field intensity. Maxwell's fourth equation for free space, del cross B equal to mu naught epsilon naught. This is permeability, this is permittivity. Its constants I have given here, into del E electric field intensity with time. Let us first find an expression for curl E. Curl E will be given by this solution of this matrix. So AX into del Y by del Z E naught Z, that is this, minus del by del Z of E naught Y minus this much, plus minus AY into this much is plus, this now becomes minus AY into del by del X of E naught Z, and this inside minus del by del Z of this, plus AZ del by del X of this quantity minus this. This we have just solved this matrix, right? Now we begin to solve this expression further. See, first thing, kxx, kyy, kzz can also be written as k dot r, where r will combine all the x, y and z component. Secondly, now we will be differentiating this expression. So it is del by del y. When we differentiate this, we will be taking this term, not this and this. So if I do del upon del y of E naught z e to the power of I k x x k y y k z z, so k y y, additional term which I will get will be I k y. Similarly, when I will differentiate with respect to z, additional term I will get will be I k z. Similarly, when I will differentiate with respect to x, additional term I will get will be I k x. So now we will differentiate and write this expression. We will make it look a bit more simple by putting this as k dot r. So now we are differentiating this expression. When we differentiate the expression, it comes out in a simpler form as, it can now be written here as in a very simple form like this. We are differentiating it. So it becomes, on differentiating the expression, we get curl E is equal to AX into I E naught z k y e to the power of I k dot r minus I omega t minus I e naught y k z e to the power of I k dot r minus I omega t. These are the expressions for Ax plus Ay will be equal to I e naught x k z e to the power of I k dot r minus I omega t minus I e naught x k x e to the power of I k dot r minus I omega t, and then Az plus Az is equal to I e naught y k x e to the power of I k dot r minus I omega t minus I e naught x k y e to the power of I k dot r minus I omega t. Right? It is looking complicated, but actually it is not that complicated. A very small trick I will teach you to learn this lengthy expression. You are involved here with three things: x, y, z. So, how to check whether my expression has been written in a correct manner? The three quantities x, y, z should be there in all the three expressions. See, ax, z, y, right? Ay, x, then here there is a mistake, that means this must be z. See, I caught my mistake on my own, z. So, x, y, z. Z, this is a very easy way of remembering. Z, y and x. See, x, z, y, x, z, y, x. This is how we remember it in a cyclic manner, that whether our expression is going in the common direction or not. Another thing, making it look more simple, we can take this term common out of all the three expressions. So the expression will now look bit more simple. How? See, it is now going to look more simple. I have taken out common. I am taking ax inside. This ax I am taking it inside, and I have taken out common from here. Ax I have taken inside. I will do e naught z ky minus e naught y kz plus ay into e naught x kz minus e naught z kx plus az e naught y kx minus e naught x ky and whole expression e to the power of I k dot r minus I omega t. I have taken it out as common. Why did I take this step? This step I have taken because these terms which are inside, when simplified, these terms which are inside, when I will simplify the matrix, I will get this value as K cross E, or K of curl E. See, AX, AY, AZ, KX, KY, KZ, EOX, E naught Y and E naught Z. If I simplify, see, E naught Z into KY minus E naught Y KZ, then AY, it will be minus here, minus AY is this much, E naught Z KZ, E naught Z KZ, and this. Okay, I have, wait a minute, minus, no, it was correct. Inside I have changed the sign. So this much, so this becomes equal to this. Now I will simplify this expression further. Now I can write curl E is equal to I, this I, into K curl of, if you are writing it in terms of E naught, E to the power of I K dot R minus I omega T. Now E naught E to the power of I K dot R minus I omega T is equal to E here. So this expression becomes curl E is equal to I into K cross E, where K is position vector and E is the electric field. What have I done? Instead of E naught and this much value, I have put E. So curl E is I into K cross E. Now I will put this value of curl E in Maxwell's third equation. Maxwell's third equation is Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So this value of curl E I will put in Maxwell's third equation. So after putting it in Maxwell's third equation, I will get my answer very simply. See, curl E is equal to minus del B by del T. Curl E is I K cross E. So I K cross E, you can vector symbols, is equal to minus del by del T, and instead of B I can write the value in terms of amplitude also, and my exponential component I K dot R minus I omega T. Now we will differentiate this expression with respect to T on this side, and the formula is, here I have given d by d theta of e to the power of I theta is I e to the power of theta. So we will differentiate it, and what do we get? We get del by del t of e to the power of minus I omega t, because we are differentiating it with respect to time. It becomes minus I omega e to the power of minus I omega t, right? So I k cross E is equal to I omega and B, where B is B naught e to the power of I k dot R minus I omega t. So this was minus here, and this was Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Your minus and this minus sign have got cancelled, and you are left with k cross E is omega B. Omega is angular frequency, which is given by 4 pi mu. So what is this expression proving? K cross E equal to omega B proves that magnetic field vector B is perpendicular to both the propagating vector K and the electric field vector B. for magnetic field, K cross B is equal to minus omega mu naught epsilon naught into E. This proves that E and B are perpendicular and they are also perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave vector K. Now, suppose N is a unit vector and along the direction of propagation of the electromagnetic wave, then B is equal to K upon omega into N cross E. Right? Here, K upon omega, I have solved it there for you. This is just a simple formula. Omega is 2 pi mu, K is equal to 2 pi by lambda. B I can write as mu naught H is equal to K upon omega into N cross E. Right? N cross E. So, H is K upon omega mu naught into position vector N into E. Now, omega upon K is equal to C, or K upon omega is 1 upon C. Omega is 2 pi mu, K is 2 pi by lambda. Divide, you get C. I have written the formulas that side. Therefore, H is equal to 1 upon mu naught C N cross E. Right? In terms of magnitude, I can write this as this N cross E. Or where the wave vector is basically perpendicular, so H is 1 upon mu naught C E. Right? And this quantity E upon H is known as characteristic impedance of an electromagnetic wave and is given by E naught upon H naught, which is equal to mu naught into C. Also, this velocity of light C is equal to 1 upon mu naught into epsilon naught. So, instead of C, I can put this equal to mu naught upon under root mu naught epsilon naught. So, E upon H comes out as under root mu naught upon epsilon naught. Mu naught value is 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7. Epsilon naught is 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12. So, this comes out approximately as 376.72 ohm, which is ratio of E upon H is a constant at a particular point and it carries the dimensions of electric resistance, characteristic impedance or intrinsic impedance of wave impedance of free space. New thing is that the ratio E upon H is, since it is a square root quantity, it is real and positive, and the electric field vector and magnetic field vector are in the same phase. Thank you.